where there's a candle and the flame does not flicker when the winds of outer change blow. Don't you love that? There's a place inside you where the flame does not flicker. And so no matter what's happening in the world around you, no matter who's freaking out, no matter what the news says, there is a safe spot. Some people... Hi everybody, Alan Cohen here. Thank you so much for joining me. We are on our way to a full month of 15-minute daily doses of sanity during the month of April. We want to take some time and really step back from the unhappy news and create some happy news. And a lot of us are really home more than we ever have been in a long time. We might say that there are more people at home at the same time on the planet than there ever have been. It's a pretty amazing phenomenon, isn't it? And so some people are calling this a lockdown. And I heard another term for it that feels a lot better. Some people are calling it a home sanctuary. Home sanctuary. So today I want to explore with you what it really means to be home and what our true sanctuary is. I think you'll like what we have to share. And I want to begin with a lesson from A Course in Miracles. I think it's a great solace at this time. And there's an amazing lesson, number 160 in the workbook, that really addresses what's going on today. It's almost like this lesson was written for this period of time and phase. And the lesson goes, I'm at home. Fear is the stranger here. How appropriate is that? I'm at home. Fear is the stranger here. Let me read you some excerpts from it. The Course says, fear is a stranger to the ways of love. Identify with fear and you will be a stranger to yourself. There's a stranger in our midst who comes from an idea so far into the truth. He speaks a different language and looks upon the world that truth does not know. And yet, how easy would it be to say, this is my home. Here I belong. And I will not leave because a madman says I must. Interesting, isn't it? So we might say that love is reality and fear is a stranger. And a lot of us have allowed a stranger to enter our midst, which is fear. I remember Groucho Marx made a remark. He was one of the first television shows, and he was describing the new medium of television. He said, television is a place where you let people into your living room that you would never let near your house. And it's really true. You know, we let dramas and horror and action and bad news into our living room, and it kind of comes in like a smoke or a fog or a virus, a mental virus, an emotional virus. And so a lot of us, through watching lots of news, more than we need to watch, through having dark conversations, through listening to frightened people, we have allowed a stranger, which is fear, to come into our house. And if some criminal, some aberrant person knocked on your door and said, I want to stay in your house, would you let him? Most likely not. So why do we let fear into the house of our mind, or emotions, or a family, or a consciousness? So what you want to do today is to find the home sanctuary as a safe place where fear cannot enter. Now, there's two different levels of home sanctuary. One is, we have a physical home that a lot of us are apparently confined to for a while. But then we have a spiritual home, a spiritual sanctuary that's inside of us. And no matter where our body is, what our body's doing, we have a right to that spiritual sanctuary. Now, I live in Hawaii, as many of you know. I live on the Big Island. And there's a place down in Honau now, south of Kona, called the Place of Refuge, or the City of Refuge. Some of you may have been there. Pretty interesting. So in old Hawaiian times, before settlers came from Europe, if you were Hawaiian and you committed a crime, and most crimes are punishable by death, like looking into the king's eyes or standing in the king's shadow, they had some pretty harsh rules. If you committed a crime before the authorities caught you, if you could get to this place of refuge, it was literally a little village on the coastline, before you were apprehended, there you would find priests who would absolve you, and you were innocent and free of the crime. And you could run or swim or ride, whatever it took. It was kind of a strange game. But the idea is if you got to the place of refuge, then you were safe. It was its sanctuary from the laws of man. And so what I want to suggest that inside of each of us, there is a city of refuge. There is a place of refuge. And it's not a place you go to physically, but it's a place you go to mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Some friends of mine were Zen meditators, and they went to a Zen retreat, and the practice of meditation in Zen is called Zazen. And they would sit for many hours a day, and they would all meditate doing Zazen together. And the students would occasionally have a meeting with the Roshi, the Zen master, an interview. So my friend went, and the first day he said, my knees are hurting. And the master said, more Zazen. In other words, go back and meditate some more. Next interview said, I'm thinking about my family. I have some troubles at home. And the master said, more Zazen. Third interview, he said, the student said, I don't know what I'm going to do with my business. I'm scared about the finances. And the master said, more Zazen. It's a funny story, but it's true. And the idea is that this man had all these physical and worldly troubles, and they could have been attempted to be fixed piecemeal, logistically, horizontally. But the Zen master was saying, you need to fix them vertically. You need to go in. So there's just so much going out you can do before you have to go in. And I think this is really a blessed time. I know it's a challenging time, and I pray that we get over this quickly. But I want to use the challenging time for spiritual upliftment. We have to go in and face ourselves. Now, a lot of us spend a lot of time running around doing stuff, a lot of which is not truly meaningful. I had a friend, she's a lovely lady, and she believed everything bad that happened was her fault. And she was busy. She did endless errands and emergencies, and she couldn't sit home for more than 5 minutes, going, doing. And as I got to know her, she felt guilty. She was raised in a Catholic church, and they taught her that she was guilty. And so if anything bad happened in the world to her, to anybody, she thought it was her fault. And she was petrified to sit and be with herself. And so she created an endless stream of doing, going, busy, because she feared that if she actually sat with herself quietly, she would see an ugly, horrible, sinful, evil person that would be so scary she would have to run out of the room and kill herself. Of course, in Miracles gives that example as well. And so being home and being forced to really sit with ourselves and go in is really a blessing, because it reels us in from terminal doingness. And of course, Miracles tells us that, you're afraid that if you sat with yourself, you would find some ugly, evil, horrible person. But the truth is, if you moved beyond that fear and went in deeper and deeper, you would see somebody who's absolutely brilliant, absolutely angelic, absolutely filled with light and love, absolutely innocent. And so being at home forces us to go within, if you choose to use it as that. Now, I want to suggest that you do not waste your month of April or however long you have to stay home by watching news only or worrying about what's going on. You're not adding to the solution, you're adding to the problem. So we have a blessed opportunity of a month or however long your local government says you have to stay home. Blessed opportunity to use this time for healing. Self-healing, which naturally extends to world healing. Your inner peace, your state of mind is intrinsically connected to the healing of coronavirus and whatever else is going on in the world. All minds are joined. And so when your mind gets uplifted, when you find peace, you naturally and logically extend peace to everyone around you. And I like to think of the home sanctuary, the inner sanctuary, I call it the temple of the heart. And I like to envision, you can envision with me now if you like, a real cozy place inside you. It could be a room in your home, it could be a living room or a den or a family room, and you might want to visualize a lovely soft sofa with some nice lighting or some incense or flowers. You might like to envision an external sanctuary like a temple or a cabin in the woods or a place in nature. And the telling characteristic of the temple of the heart is that there's only peace here. And the yogis have a really cool image I like, and they say, there's a place inside you where there's a candle and the flame does not flicker when the winds of outer change blow. Don't you love that? There's a place inside you where the flame does not flicker. And that's the definition of the temple of the heart. And it's always there. And so no matter what's happening in the world around you, no matter who's freaking out, no matter what the news says, there is a safe spot. Some people, in the past couple of decades have built houses with safe rooms. It's kind of a strange idea. Maybe it has value, but they have this hidden room in the house in case somebody invades your house and they go and hide there. Well, I understand the principle, but there really is a safe room inside you that is not a physical room. And the truth is, my friends, if you're not safe in here, then no room that you build is going to make you safe. You cannot make yourself safe by outer manipulation. Real safety comes from inside. And if you're watching this broadcast, then I assume that you have some relationship with the spiritual path, which says that there's something inside you that's greater, deeper, and stronger than what's going on outside you. So let us take this month to really retreat. Don't you love that word, retreat? Retreat. You're re-treating yourself. You're remembering how to treat yourself. So let us take this time to retreat to the real home sanctuary. You may be home physically, but it's even more important that you be home spiritually. And the truth is that you're already home spiritually. That, there's part of you that never really left heaven. We believe we left heaven and there was a fall from Garden of Eden, we fell from grace and all that stuff. But the truth is that there's a part of all of us that is eternally connected to God. And that is the only part that is real. And that is the only part that could never be severed. You cannot lose your connection to God. You can lose all kinds of things in the outer world, but your connection to God is something that's so holy and so powerful and so real that no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what anybody around you says or does, that connection to God is here. So let us today practice retreating to our home sanctuary. to remembering that we are safe. It's a fabulous mantra. I am safe. 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 I am loved. I am whole. I am in the presence of God. I am connected to the God self of everyone else on the planet. We are all in this together. And we all have a home sanctuary. And so wouldn't it be amazing if a lot of people on the planet today went into their home sanctuary? And studies show that when a certain percentage of people in the city are meditating, the crime rate drops in that city, the fear rate and the aberration rate drops in that city. So the more people who meditate and go within during this period of time, the more the outer stuff will decrease and the better the world will be. So your contribution to the world at this time is your peace, and so is mine. Well, looks like our time's up for today. Wow, it went quickly today. I hope you enjoyed our time together. I'll be back again tomorrow. Every weekday in April, we'll have a different message each day. If you want to share this with your friends, I'd love to have you do that. I love you. I thank you for joining me. This is as important to me as it is to you. This helps me to stay in the right consciousness, and I hope it helps you stay in as well. See you tomorrow. I love you lots. Have a beautiful, powerful day. From my heart to yours, aloha.